Good evening, Scully.
Good evening.
It's so nice to meet you here at the inaugural evening for the Living Donor Circle of Excellence.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being here with us today. My name is Ramya Hozak. I'm the Director of Philanthropy at the Kidney Foundation, and it's been a pleasure to work with Dr. John Gill on the Kidney Foundation of Canada's recent strategic partnership with the American Society of Transplantation and Canadian Society of Transplantation of the Living Donor Circle of Excellence initiative.
And I'm not surprised that you're one of the guests here this evening because you are, in fact, a living donor.
I am.
So, Scully, can you tell us a little bit about it?
I have a food truck business in Abbotsford, and December 8th, 2 years ago, Tim and his wife, who were customers of mine, but I didn't know their name at the time, came out of Canadian Tire, and he looked like crap. And I asked him what was up, and he found out just about an hour before that he needed to have a kidney transplant. I knew that you can live easily on one kidney, and I asked him what the prerequisites were, and he told me about the blood type, and I said I had no idea what my blood type was, but if I was a match, let's do it. So the next day I went out and got blood tested to find out what my blood type was, found out I was a universal donor, and I called him up and shocked him and said, let's do this. And he thought I was still joking. And we got the ball rolling, and yeah, we're coming up to our 2nd year anniversary of the kidney transplant, and it went great.
I mean, it's an amazing story in so many ways. So, first of all, did you know anything about even kidney disease or transplantation before all of this came about?
No.
No. And what an amazing thing, because the living donors right now, about 29, close to 30% of all transplants across the country are from living donors, and a majority of, or 59% of the time, they're not from a direct relative. But we need to raise awareness about it.
For me to be a direct match for him, we had to be compatible with blood type. So I believe he was A and I was universal, so it didn't matter. So it was a lot of testing and a lot of a friendship developed over the time. And the operation was a success, and Tim's recovering and doing his family life and continuing. It's a great job.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
And let's go back just a little bit. So when you made that first initial phone call, and like you said, he was probably totally flabbergasted that you were going to be proceeding, you had the right blood type, and you were going to be proceeding with the process. Estimated, how long did that process take you? How many tests did you undergo?
Oh gosh, it was months.
Yeah.
I believe it's 6 to 8 weeks of blood and tissue sampling in the labs just to see if his antibodies will accept my tissue. But then we also had COVID during that period. We also had Tim not having all his vaccinations, which added more time. And it was a long process. And but I remember the day that Renee, my coordinating nurse, called up and said, Scully, and I could, the way she said my name, I knew that I was a match. Her tone in her voice, just, you know, Scully, guess what? And I was like, I already know what you're gonna say because I can tell it in your voice. It was one of the best journeys I've ever been on.
Did you understand right at the beginning the impact that this was going to have on somebody's life?
It didn't motivate me. I thought it would be a really interesting experience. And I know that you can live with one kidney, and they're not gonna let me do something unless it's safe.
Yeah.
So why not do it? It was a little bit of time off work, a little bit of pain and, you know, whatever. It was a little surgery, and then back to it. Life goes on.
To donate a kidney, it's pretty much exactly the same recovery that a woman would do having a cesarean. And, you know, by the time you die, you're gonna use 0.4 of one kidney, and you've got 2 of them. So it's kind of an easy thing to do, and obviously it worked out well for Tim.
You're gonna use 0.4 of one kidney by the time you die. That's 1.6 left over. Why not? Spread the wealth.